Hi guys, Raj here, just doing a quick run through of the markets and just giving you a quick idea of what's been going on today and throughout some of this week. So you can see on the S&P 500 here on the weekly, we've got a bit of a two-wave scenario going on, or a bit of a loss of momentum on this move up, but that's also been reflected by the daily chart where we've had some negative PTS targets, pro trading system targets to the downside, and you can see today's trade has already hit target here anyway. So a really quick kind of good trade. Longer term targets to the downside look a bit precarious, but potentially could happen as well. But already hit a decent profit target on the 1 hour based on what was happening on the daily anyway. So it's always good to match the time frames up together. And the previous trade, which was around here somewhere, also hit the target to the downside off of the same PTS system short anyway. So that has been pretty good. Let's go and look elsewhere because interestingly, the FTSE 100 has been doing the opposite. So you can see here we've kind of had entry signals and previous hit upside targets on the FTSE 100. As you can see, we've got weekly momentum long, daily momentum long, and hourly momentum also long. So that's also been doing very well recently at the moment. The big story has been some of the base metals like zinc, nickel will be what we look at next, and lithium. We've seen some really good moves to the upside off the back of this weekly and daily chart. Now, we don't really trade these ones on the 1 hour. You can, but it's not really something that we look to do. They're more longer term holds, and I'll show you with nickel especially why, because it really did shoot up rather, and it hit the major pro trading system target as well. And look how amazing that is. It finds it meets it as resistance, and we're starting to see a sell-off. But on the trend like this is something that you'd want to wait and see if you could jump back into a trade on the long side. There's no point trading against a trend that's quite strong like that. Elsewhere in oil, so crude, that also had a decent move to the upside that the pro trading system managed to catch. So really found this one on the screener. It's got a new setup as well, but the previous trade was around this momentum trigger, which I'll just show you down here. Just down there, that one, just circle it there. That momentum trigger long has played out quite nicely. There's recently been a new momentum trigger that's in profit as well. I'll show you where that one is too. There's a new momentum trigger in profit as well as we speak. So that's also been a fairly decent trade to the upside. Let's go and look at some currency pairs, and we'll start off with the major EURUSD. Let's look at some analysis there. That's in a really, really strong downtrend. It's underneath the moving averages, but it looks like it's trying to base out and move up. Now, my bias is still negative on this one. And you can see here, this is when you would want to avoid a trade for me. When we're in the middle of the moving averages, we call that the croc jaws. We're in the middle of the moving averages there, and we're in the middle of the moving averages here. So they're not cohesively together. They're not confluencing these time frames together. So that's why I would avoid this like the plague, unless it starts to move back down in the direction of the overall trend. That's what I would be looking for there, for a move to maybe 110 or something like that. GBPUSD, all of the party shenanigans in Downing Street haven't done anything to stop this move to the upside. Let me just delete some of my notes there. So we're seeing a really good move here. Maybe weekly we could get a new momentum trigger, but we're back above the moving averages. Daily back above the moving averages, very strong green above red, everything looking good there. And you can see the previous momentum triggers have been doing really, really well too. So one there, one there. Very, very, very nice. Our proprietary software doing really well, giving us some really good long trades, some really good buying signals here for that. That's been very good quality. USDJPY, that moved a lot overnight. We had a big move to the downside. You can see weekly we are along, but daily we've had some negative signals to the downside, negative pro trading system shorts, and also a negative momentum trigger to the downside. And you can see here these sell targets have already been met, and that's already worked out quite quickly anyway. So some really, really decent moves in the FX markets. Let's just quickly look at gold and silver. Gold and silver have been sideways of late. You can see that, but we've got upside targets near enough on most of these time frames now, but we are not out of the woods in terms of the moving averages. So a slightly long bias, upward bias, but not super, super convincing. Silver, let's check and see if it's the same thing. No. Silver, we want to avoid again within the moving averages, within the moving averages, and within the moving averages. Again, a very mixed picture across all three timeframes here. So might be looking to avoid something like that. But in general, it had a really good week in terms of the pro trading system. Some really, really good trades. The momentum triggers have been working well as a guide, and the pro trading system kind of has been the backup to get into the trades, the execution to get into the trades off the back of what the storyteller and the momentum triggers have been telling us. So really, really good work and really decent trades this week. So hopefully next week is the same.